Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video in Wild Rift. So they're back with another Jinx supplementary guide, and this is sort of a follow-up from the one yesterday and also the original Jinx updated complete guide. And this one's going to be talking about Stormrazer Jinx. Now, of course, I do know that some people don't like my build of just going for Phantom Dancer into like IE and that kind of thing. I don't really, as in, I get why, because like the main reason is mainly because like you're really weak on like one item especially. So with items like Stormrazer or shieldbow, you spike a little bit harder on your first item. However, you do scale a bit worse. So for example, like Jinx with Stormrazer, when you're at like full build, like 5 items or like even 4 items, you're going to be weaker because Stormrazer scales pretty badly into the late game. Because the main reason why this is the case is because that extra damage and slow you get from Stormrazer, it matters a lot in the early game, but it almost barely matters in the late game. So it's kind of like its passive is almost completely redundant, and stats wise you can get a lot better items compared to Stormrazer. So essentially this is the build that you're going to be weaker in the late game, but in the early game when you first get your Stormrazer, it's going to be a spike and you're going to be quite a bit stronger than if you had gone for Phantom Dancer or even Shieldbow. So the build pretty much remains the same from yesterday and also from the updated complete guide. You basically just insert the Stormrazer at the front, then you go for, of course, your Phantom Dancer, your IE, and then your Mole Reminder, and of course, lastly, your Bloodthirster, of course, for the lifesteal. And of course, we're not going to be discussing too much about the boots or the runes because they're going to be updated in under a week's time. And the spells, once again, you go for Ghost and you go for Flash. If you really need Exhaust, if there's an assassin that can dive onto you, can go for that. But I feel that personally, I go for Ghost almost 100% of the time. But anyways, let's just jump straight into the gameplay and talk about it. Okay, so here we have the gameplay itself. Today we're rocking the Arcane Jinx, which I know some people love the Arcane Jinx skin because of how they love Arcane. I personally love Arcane. I think it's an amazing series, but I don't really like the Arcane Jinx skin itself. I think it's a pretty meh kind of skin. Nothing too impressive about it, but of course it's not horrible either. It's just an alright skin. Straight off the bat, we eat a Karma Q to the face, but because of bone plating, Karma Q to the face doesn't really matter all that much anymore. Of course, this might change when the rune system is reworked, because bone plating is going to be a little bit harder to take on like ADCs and such. So, you know, we're going to have to see, you know, how that affects lanes and stuff. So anyways, here, what we're doing is, of course, we're against a Lucian and a Karma. This is a very aggressive lane. Karma is a lane bully, and so is Lucian. Lucian very heavy burst, really strong. And we're playing Jinx, who of course is really weak in lane and takes time to scale. So we don't really want to be too aggressive. But one thing that we do have an advantage of is range. Now Lucian has really short range. He has the shortest range of all the ADCs. Of course, except for Nyla, which is going to be released really soon as well. Here you can see we're using rocket form and we're just blasting people down. Look at how low Karma is at this point. Here Mundo comes in for a gank, and here honestly I make a pretty big mistake here. Mundo comes in for a gank and I actually turn back to help Seraphine with the Mundo. So here I'm trying to run down Mundo and or Karma, and I end up getting first blooded and dying, and then Seraphine follows shortly after. Now honestly what I should have done here is, because Mundo was committing onto my support, the Seraphine, and Lucian was doing that as well, honestly I should have just turned back around, killed the Karma, got the reset, and then just, you know, either ran back to help or just ran back to run away. Because basically what happened in this scenario here is both me and Seraphine ended up dying and we got nothing in return. And in this case, that, you know, doing what I said I should have done would have made me pincer in between the Lucian, Mundo, and the Karma. But Karma was probably like 2 auto attacks away from dying anyway, so I should have just committed to killing the Karma and then running away afterwards, instead of just running away and getting no kills at all, which now puts me in a pretty horrible position where basically at this point we are pretty far behind because, you know, our friend Lucian has gotten 2 kills. Now thankfully for us, Lucian has decided to go for the Manamune build and not go for the Essence Reaver build, which means he's not going to be as strong. So here Seraphine is pretty much just getting one shot by the Lucian. Lucian, you know, even with like, you know, going for like a more scaly build, he does have very high base damages. He does of course have a Clawfield's Warhammer, you know, does do more damage of course, and just base damages alone is carrying him, and he just destroys the Seraphine. So here they're pushing in, and I'm just trying to take the CS. I'm trying to push this out as quickly as possible, try to prevent them from getting a plate. So far, it's slightly above the threshold of getting a plate, so far they have not been able to get a plate yet, but it's only a matter of time before either the minions or just one auto attack from Lucian is able to secure a plate. Thankfully, somehow I still managed to clear the minions in time, and we are indeed able to protect that one tower plate. So anyways, here we're back in lane. Of course, we do want to be really cautious. We want to use our range to farm and poke, because if we get too close, Lucian can just all in and we're going to be in trouble, or Seraphine could be in trouble as well, and we really don't want to be fighting them. Thankfully, because of the range, you can see even though we're kind of behind, we're still relatively effective at zoning Lucian away from the minions, because of the simple fact that my threat, my sphere of influence is way higher than his, because of just how my base range is higher than him, and if I use my rockets, my range is way higher than him. So here you can see the only thing he can really do is commit to an all-in, which is exactly what he's doing, and a little bit too much damage here, even without Mundo running in. Just Lucian running me down together with like Karma and her ulti is, straight up just ruining my day. So you can see here it's a really rough, really rough early game. Honestly, normally in these kind of matches, I would not opt for going for Stormrazer as a first item. I would normally just opt for going for the more scaling build of like Phantom Dancer into IE and stuff, because I'm not gonna win early game anyways. Even if I was even against Lucian, I'm not gonna win against him early game anyways. So there's not too much of a point building Stormrazer. But because in this particular game, I kind of autopilot to building the components for Stormrazer / shieldbow, I ended up having to go for Stormrazer anyways, because shieldbow is not really the best in this match. The only burst there is in the game is like, really it's just like Lucian burst. Although Lucian is getting pretty fed, Seraphine gets eviscerated by him, and here I'm just gonna have to run because I do no damage to him at this point, and he can very easily just kill me. And yeah, it's a really rough thing. We're in big trouble. Currently I'm 0 and 2, Seraphine is 0 and 3, and our Lucian is 4 and 0. So it's really dire situation. As I mentioned, like my Lucian videos, if Lucian gets fed in the early game, you're gonna be in big trouble. Thankfully though, Pantheon is able to get the shutdown onto the Lucian, so he is able to get something back. Here, Mundo unfortunately gets the kill on Pantheon, but I'm able to actually ult down the Mundo to secure that kill. So I finally get one kill. And I also have my Stormrazer now. Dragon is of course up, but our jungler is dead. And so is there, so there's no point going anywhere near there. I'm just going to focus down the tower, get some plates, and try our best to get back in the game using this plate goal. Now Teemo here is chasing us. Honestly, if he waited a second longer for his team to catch up, I think the chances would have been a lot better. But here you can see Lucian's trying to run me down again, and Seraphine uses her ult to cancel his and disengage. And here, we pop the ghost to just run away, and we're gonna have to recall all the way because we're really low now, and we're gonna be of no help in the dragon fight coming up. At this kind of state. So here we're gonna at the same time get a couple of items, but we're gonna run back to lane as quickly as we can. You can see Lucian and Karma are trying to force down the first tower, which is obviously what they should be doing, and they almost have it. It's like a 200 HP, but they do run out of minions. So here, while this is happening, our team is dying again. Cannon has died, and Pantheon has died as well. It's a pretty rough game for my team. The only person who is really doing really well on my team is Pantheon, and to some extent Malphite as well. The rest of our team is not doing too hot, and on the enemy team we can see there's a fat Corki and a fat Lucian, which is definitely not what we want to see. Here, of course, they try to go in on us again, and here Seraphine dies to the ignite, and here I'm now getting chased down by Mundo, and not a lot I can do. I get hit by the cleaver, so I get slowed. Even with the traps, Mundo is immune to the first instance of CC, so I end up dying to him. And Pantheon is now on the chase, trying to chase down Mundo, but he's going to run into Lucian and Karma. Now, he does manage to actually go onto Lucian, but unfortunately, he's not able to finish the kill, doesn't have the damage, and he does end up dying as well. So once again, it's been slowly devolving into a disaster. I'm 1-3-1, Seraphine 0-4-0, which is even worse, and Cannon, Malphite, and Pantheon are kind of like doing way better than us. So in this game, me and my support definitely not doing too hot at all. We're kind of getting destroyed, to be honest. But this is a really good example of how in this sort of game where you're getting destroyed, Jinx scales very well. You can actually just get back into the game just by hanging in there, getting a couple of items, and then just scaling into the game, into the mid and late game, and then carrying your team when you reach that point. Now, you can see now that the whole enemy team is doing Herald, except Corki, who's pushing mid. So we take advantage of this opportunity to actually push down this tower and secure the tower gold, as well as just removing the tower from the map in general. So after that, we're gonna just back. No point in contesting Herald at this point because my team is so much weaker than their team. There's about a 5k gold difference between the two teams, and we're on the losing end of that. So that's definitely not good news for us. So here, enemy team is using the Herald in the bot lane. I'm just trying to get some farm in the mid lane, competing against the cannon. We managed to actually get the whole wave, and now I'm going bot to actually go and defend the tower. I ran into a Teemo Shroom, but because of bone plating, I end up not actually taking too much damage. And here we spot Lucian basically around the Skull Crab area. I actually ult by accident here. I actually meant to just cast the W there and just walk away, but I accidentally cast my ult. Does end up hitting the Teemo, which actually gives information that Teemo is heading to the bot lane. Overall, it's not very useful info, but at least we got something out of the ult, not completely nothing. But here, anyways, we're just gonna continue on farming. It's gonna be a really boring, first part of the game, because the first part of the game is basically just us getting destroyed, and we're just gonna have to try to farm up and get back into the game. Now, in certain games, even when you're trying your best to farm up and get back into the game, it just never happens. I'm sure you guys know that as well. You simply just get destroyed for the whole game and you just lose. But in some games, if you just keep on farming and try to not engage in fights until a good one comes, if you just keep on farming, then eventually is going to be a good fight where, for example, as a Jinx, you're playing front to back, the enemy team is not focusing at all, they're focusing on front line, you kill someone, get a reset, and you start to take over the team fight, and off of that one team fight, your team gets an ace, and the complexion of the entire game has changed. So, that's very, very possible to happen, and of course, that's what we're trying to aim for here. Now here, Mundo is hardcore committing to the cannon, and here you can see he's just running in between towers. I managed to get the kill onto him, and I get the shutdown on the Mundo, which is pretty much free. I mean, honestly, I don't think there was any way he was getting out of that, especially because he just flashed in. He's not going to be able to flash back out, so he can't ignore the towers and me, so he's just going to die there anyway. I think that's a very stupid play by him. You can see here that despite that, I make a stupid play as well. I step up just a little bit too far. I get completely one-shot by Corki and Lucian. And yeah, that just proves how behind we are and how ahead those two are. They're both like at 9k gold together with Mundo as well. We're only at 7k gold. I got 2k gold behind all three of them, and yeah, it just really is not a good look. We're just getting completely destroyed. Yeah, it's just really, really ugly at this point. Now we are 4 kills down, personally, and our whole team is like at roughly the same goal. We're all at about 7k gold, whereas the enemy team is all at about 9k gold. Of course, we have Karma, who's of course a little bit below that, and we have Teemo, who's kind of the only person on their team who's doing bad. He's 0 and 4, and yeah, so. But unfortunately, as a Jinx, it's really hard to like kill a Teemo because he can just blind me, and I basically gonna end up doing no damage to him. So here, there's a dragon up, so obviously the enemy team is doing the dragon. Pantheon tries to face check in, and here I'm just standing behind my team and trying to just blast whoever I can. Seraphine ult goes in, so does the cannon, as well as basically everybody, Pantheon as well. And here you can see I'm blasting, so this is kind of the fight that I was semi-waiting for before I ran into a Teemo Shroom and die, but basically cannon gets the steal, and we basically are getting the team fight win, hopefully. Here the Pantheon has to run away. But here you can see we basically got the dragon, and we traded 2 for 4, which is basically a huge huge turning point and a huge swing in gold, where we secure the dragon, prevent their dragon stacking, and also we get a couple of kills. And in trade for, we traded 2 people for 4 people, which is definitely gonna be worth it almost all of the time, especially when you're the team that's behind, that is. So Anyways, here we're slowly about to get to 3 items. Now we're 4, 5, and 3. 8k gold now. We do have already, of course, our Stormrazer as well as our Phantom Dancer. We have the BF Sword, where we are halfway there to get towards getting IE. And when we get IE, you know, we're going to be able to start to try to take over team fights as best we can. Of course, I say try to because we could get instantly bursted by Lucian or even Corki. And, you know, we're going to be doing nothing, you know, if we get bursted instantly. So anyways, here we're just going to group with our team and stay together. The main way you win as the losing team is to group together. Here you can see we're trying to catch out Lucian together, and we are able to pick up a kill onto the Lucian. And now Baron is up, so I was thinking Baron is a possibility because Lucian is the most fit member and he's missing, but my team doesn't want to do Baron, they want to chase people down. So here Seraphine ult goes through the whole team, so does Cannon ult, and here I'm just blasting the team. Here Mundo is left alone and I'm just blasting him down as well. Cannon picks up a double kill and we basically once again kill the whole enemy team aside from the Karma. Now Karma foolishly runs into our team and we are able to kill the Karma and, you know, secure that kill. So here I was trying to ping for Baron, but unfortunately my team is pretty low and doesn't look like we're going to be able to pick up Baron at all. So anyways, since we can't do that, me and Malphite are going to just push down the middle lane. Now of course we have to be aware that Lucian has respawned, so we can't push down too far. You know, we can just push down a little bit and then we are going to have to back. So I spot a golden area of opportunity here where Lucian is basically clearing the mid lane and the rest of his team is going to be just walking out of base. So here we're going to quickly just take down this bot lane tower and we're going to immediately just run away and back before someone comes here to catch us out. So with that, we have another huge injection of gold, and hopefully we can complete IE. There we go, we have completed the IE. We're at, you know, 3 item power spike. Now you notice that we didn't go for tier 2 or boot enchant, and the main reason for that is we are trying to hit that 3 item power spike as quickly as possible. We don't have the time to waste, you know, getting you know, the boot components, you know, because we need to get to those 3 items as quickly as possible so we can try our best to carry our team. Now here we are actually suspected that the enemy team was doing Baron, but it turns out that they weren't actually doing Baron. I would have definitely done Baron if I was the enemy team, but turns out they weren't actually doing it. So here we're just all grouped up together. Enemy team groups up once again. Here I'm in position behind my my front line and I'm ready to fight if, you know, there's a fight that does end up happening. Nothing does end up happening though, and based on the fact that Mundo is not there, I can assume that Baron's not being carried out. We can see that Teemo's actually gone to the top lane and the rest of his team is just trying to push down mid lane, so definitely no Baron going on here. Now here I just want to make sure that I'm safe. I want to prevent myself from getting caught out and dying, because if that happens for no good reason, you know, I'm going to throw the game for my team. So I want to just basically stay in a safe position all the time, make sure I don't get caught out. Just catch waves and you know, be ready for like a huge team fight when if and when it happens. And aside from like team fights, I shouldn't be dying outside of team fights. I should just be staying safe. You know, you can notice that I've been walking the safe way, you know, for all of whenever I want to join up with my team. I'm not walking the lazy way, like the shortest direction. I'm normally walking over around a huge wall to just make sure I am behind them all the time. I don't get caught out on the rotation. So here the final dragon is gonna spawn, and as I mentioned, we do want a team fight because we have like a Cannon, we have a Malphite, we have a Jinx and a Seraphine. We have such a strong team fight, whereas they don't have as strong of a team fight as us. So here I'm just bursting down the dragon. Pantheon secures it, Corki tries to package over, and Cannon gets a pretty nice ult onto 2, and here I'm just blasting down whoever I can. Here Lucian is getting chased down by Pantheon and he's, you know, on the run. Pantheon's still chasing. I get the ult onto the Mundo and I get the reset. Here I'm trying to chase down the Corki. Teemo is in the mid lane trying to end the game though, which is really, really dangerous. We get the kill onto Corki and we're gonna have to immediately reset to deal with the Teemo. However, we didn't need to all recall. We just needed 1 or 2 people to recall, and my whole team just ended up recalling. So we're supposed to go get Baron after this, but the whole team just ended up recalling, which is kind of like a, you know, like a oh no kind of situation. Here I run into a shroom and I get Seraphine to, of course, give me a shield. I'm popping down the fruit and Teemo, you know, just dies. We get the kill on him. It's a clean ace, and the redemption does come down from the Seraphine, and we are going to be able to pick up the Baron. So you can see that, you know, after holding on for so long, you know, on 3 item power spike, that huge team fight finally happened. and off of that we are of course able to carry our team in that fight, and of course off of that we're able to win the fight, get the Baron, and now we have the Baron, and we can either use it to push or we can go ahead and contest the Elder Dragon, which is going to spawn in under 20 seconds. So of course we can't just let the enemy team have the Elder Dragon. We're going to have to do it ourselves. So here you can see Lucian is completely out of position. He's on the opposite side of the map. So this is the golden opportunity to burst out the Elder Dragon, because Lucian isn't here. And Lucian and Corki, together with Mundo, are the most fed members of their team. But without Lucian here, this should be a situation where we can get the Elder Dragon. We do manage to get the Elder Dragon, and we already gotten the kill onto Karma. Now we're on the chase for the rest of the team. We get the kill onto the Mundo. Lucian has just backed. I'm just trying to run down the Teemo, and we do manage to run down the Teemo and get the kill onto him while tanking the tower. And at this point, you can see the game has suddenly turned completely on its head, and it looks like we're gonna just straight up just win the game right here. Now it's only Lucian left alive. We have Baron and Elder. There's not a lot that he can do. I get the slow on him from the W. I'm just going to run him down like that. And he does end up dying to the Elder Dragon buff. No ult even needed here. And we're gonna clear the minions. We're going to kill the tower. And we're going to win based off of this push. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be leaving you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching. And goodbye.